Oops, I have muted you. Are you
Okay.
on? There you go. Awesome. That's awesome. Can you guys hear her okay?
Yeah, can you hear me okay to begin? Yeah, Karen says yes. Okay, all right, thank you.
So, yeah, why don't you go ahead and.
Okay, so we're going to begin today we're going to have a really good Saturday morning beginning by relaxing everything so that we can take it and work from there, find some length and some space. I have in mind that it would be really nice to begin with Supta Baddha Konasana, which requires a big pile of pillows. So you can try that if you'd like. If you prefer to do a mid-back roll, then you can certainly do that. Whatever you're doing, I just think it's really good preparation to have a chest opener. So if you'd like the mid-back roll, then get a tight towel. And if you'd like the Supta Baddha Konasana, then like I have here, you can build you up a giant stack of cushions. And if you've already been on a bike ride this morning, you've already done something this morning, you can combine both. So you can come into the Supta Baddha Konasana with a cushion or a towel at the mid-back. So if you're coming with a big stack of cushions, the idea is to lay down over it so that we can so we can have the chest really nice and open. Now, you want the head to be relaxed, but you don't want the chin jutting up in the air. So maybe bringing a block or something else underneath the chin so that the forehead is always a little bit higher than the heart. That's the general idea here. And then if you'd like to open the chest a little bit more, if you don't feel like it's doing quite too much, then you can take your towel roll. You can bring it to the bottom line of the shoulder blades on your stack of cushions, and you can come down to laying over it here, and that's going to give you a more intense chest opener. So try any one of those. Whenever you get here, then releasing the hands, you can release them to the side of the body. You can release the hands to the low ribs. And then you have options for the legs also. You can stretch the legs out to the end of the mat, or you can bring the legs in butterfly pose, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, letting the knees open. So once you find that space, then eventually just relaxing down, relaxing the shoulders, and coming into contact with the breath. The purpose of the work here is just to, again, coming into touch with gravity, feeling the weight of the body sinking down to the floor. And then eventually, as we give up everything here, maybe we can feel gravity pulling our muscles to the earth as we relax completely. Maybe just closing the eyes and just observing how the breath is today without trying to change it, just letting it flow. Noticing if there's something more that we can release in the body, if we're holding tension anywhere. Just do a small check from the feet to the knees, the hips, to the back of the pelvis, connecting to the low back. Feeling the cushions, releasing into the cushions. Softening the shoulders, softening the elbows, and the hands. And then softening the head, letting the head be heavy. As we stay, noticing maybe the breath begins deepening on its own. And bringing some attention to the connection of the ribs to the sternum. Breathing a little bit more into that space, that connection between the chest bone and the ribs. Actually feeling that space move with the breath. Like to bring an intention, a dedication to your practice. I'd like to bring that to mind now. Intention that you're working on, something you'd like to dedicate your energy to today. Coming back into the body, noticing if it's become heavier. Seeing if there's something more that can be released now. And from here, beginning, activating the breath, taking a couple of deeper breaths. Maybe bringing in as much air as we can all the way to the top of the lungs. And exhaling slowly, deeply. Taking another deeper breath. At the top of the breath, bringing in just a little bit more air. And exhaling again slowly and deeply. So from here, let's begin waking up again today, moving the hands, moving the feet, maybe making a funny face. And if you have the legs in butterfly pose, maybe bringing the hands down to the outside of the legs and using the hands to help close the legs, help the feet come back to the floor, the knees point up to the sky. From here, we'll just softly roll over to one side of the body. If you're on the cushions, you can stay on the cushions. Otherwise, you can just come into the fetal position. A couple of breaths here. You can make a smaller ball if you'd like, getting the knees closer into the chest. And then from here, as you're ready, we're just going to come up to have a seat. So coming up to have a seat, and we're going to begin with a wide-legged position. So you can keep a cushion if you'd like to have a seat on the edge of a cushion. We'll begin with a wide-legged forward fold, but we're going to begin softly. So you know, here when we come to the wide-legged forward fold, we're not going to open as far as we can. We're going to bring it in a little bit. And we're just going to activate the legs by pushing through the heels, pushing the thighs down to the floor, and that's going to help us sit up a little bit more, so softening the shoulders. Feeling that breath that we just left here, so feeling the breath, feeling the connection of the ribs to the sternum again. And then here, if you'd like to travel forward, then reaching up out of the chest, reaching the heart forward, and you can walk the hands slightly forward. So just keeping it light to begin. Thinking about keeping the chest open, not creating any strain in the low back. So really not going very far at all. Just beginning to warm things up. Pushing into the sit bones again, lengthening up out of the crown of the head, opening the chest, exhaling. Taking 2 deeper breaths here again. Your next breath, inhaling, walking back up. So we'll continue leaving the right leg where it is, Janu Shirshasana, but wide-legged version. And so the right leg is going to stay. We're going to bend the left foot. So the left foot can come into the thigh, or we can leave it open, depending on your knees, depending on your space. Either way is fine for this work. And from here, we're going to keep that right leg active. So continuing pushing the thigh to the floor, inhaling, becoming tall. And then from here, we're just going to come straight forward. So walking the hands forward and seeing if we can keep the contact with both sit bones, keeping the chest open. Taking one more breath. And walking back up. Just stretching out the left leg, so we'll keep both legs out again. We're going to revisit our wide-legged forward fold, inhaling, becoming tall, activating both legs. Exhaling, coming forward. So working here, keeping the chest open, noticing how this second time is maybe a little bit different. Taking one deeper breath here. With the next inhale, walking back up. This time, bringing the right leg in, so either the foot to the thigh or open. It might be different than the last round. Coming tall here. And exhaling, just walking forward again. Being careful about the knees, so we're not going far, just going soft. Taking another breath. When you're ready, walking back up. Just releasing that leg now. We're going to bring the legs straight out from the body now. So stretching the legs forward. We're going to get into the hips a little bit more. So if you're not already on a cushion, maybe you'd like to come on a cushion. We're going to come into our seated figure 4. So seated figure 4, we're going to begin by bending the right leg, bringing the right ankle above the left knee. And we're going to activate that right foot. So pulling the toes back towards the knee and then becoming tall. So a lot of us, we might already feel the stretch here. We might not need to go anywhere. Activating the left foot already. And then if there's more space, then we can fold forward. We're going to keep the chest nice and long. We're going to travel forward from the crease in the hips. And then that's it. So coming as far forward as is good. As you feel the stretch in the right side. Walking the hands forward. And just pausing. And again, staying light. You don't have to go too far. Taking 2 deeper breaths, getting into it just a little bit more. Maybe inhaling, opening the chest. Maybe exhaling the heart forward. And one more time. Inhaling, opening. And exhaling, releasing forward. Whenever it's enough, walking back and changing. So those times are just a guide. You stay as long as you like, as is good for you. You can shake the legs out between, and then bending the left knee, bringing the left ankle above the right knee, reaching out through the right heel, letting that leg become super long, becoming tall here, and then exhaling, letting the heart move forward here, walking the hands forward. Taking a few breaths here. Again, maybe inhaling, reaching up out of the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. Maybe exhaling, letting the heart sink down. Maybe doing that one more time. As you're ready, eventually walking back. So releasing that leg, you can shake the legs a little bit if you'd like. We're going to begin in an easy cross-legged seated pose. So just crossing the legs, easy seated pose, and you can build up your seat a little bit with a cushion or a block. You can even support the knees with blocks if you'd like. We're just going to begin by treating ourselves right. So the work that we've been doing, we're working on lengthening some lines in the body. And a lot of those lines begin at the head and the neck, the connections with the muscles to the head. So we're going to begin by interlacing the fingers and bringing them at the base of the skull. And we're not going to pull on the neck. That's the first thing. We're just going to let the chin come down towards the chest. We're going to let the elbows come forward. And so somewhere in here you'll find, if you release the arms, just using the weight of the arms, you'll find a little bit of stretch in the back of the neck, so softening the shoulders. Finding your breath. And taking one more breath. And then releasing here. So we're going to continue on taking the first two fingers. We're going to bring them to the occipits, so those big round bones right at the base of the skull. So finding those round bones, and we're going to give ourselves a little massage because it's really sometimes incredible the stress that we build up at this spot. So first we're just going to rub on those. So rubbing up and down, rubbing side to side, rubbing, 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 almost like we're scratching. So we're like creating some heat. So up and down, up and down, up and down, side to side, side to side, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. Okay, so we should feel a sensation of heat being built up there. And then we're going to slow down. We're just going to pull up. So on those bones, just pulling up just a little bit, and then pulling down, pulling out to the sides of the head, and then pushing in towards the center. Now just continuing making some circles. Any organic movements around there that feel good around those round bones. You're making circles, making in both directions. Okay, now we can begin expanding here. So now beginning making a circle to the outside of those bones. So feeling how big they really are. Making a circle in both directions. And then from here, we're going to begin drawing from those bones. We're going to draw over towards the ears. So right at the base of the skull, we're going to draw over towards the ears. So depending on what you have going on in the neck and the shoulders, you might feel something more or less strong there. And then letting the hands come back. So just imagining you're giving yourself a little massage at the base of the skull. And there are lots of things that run in there. So if you run into something that feels really good, just stop. Just stop, keep the pressure, enjoy that. So continuing, just coming back and forth, pulling the fingers out and in and out and in. Last thing here, when we bring the fingers back to the bones, we're going to bring them beside the cervical vertebrae, so not on the vertebrae, but to the outsides, and then just letting the fingers come down all the way to the trapezius and all the way back up. So letting come down to the base of the neck and then come back up. One more time, down and up. So maybe from here, just releasing the hands to the knees, becoming tall, softening the shoulders, and just observing that sensation. We're going to continue with one other small movement that sometimes really is a big release. We're going to take the first two fingers again, and we're going to bring them to the joint of the jaw. So you feel at the back, the top bone comes into contact with the bottom bone. Right in front of that, there's a hollow space, that empty space. So when you find that empty space, we're just going to make some circles, up, down, and around, up, down, and around. So the mouth usually opens just a little bit. We part the lips. We let the teeth have a little bit of space between. So making that circle. You might begin making your circle a little bit bigger so that it begins coming onto the bone. And then here we're going to change directions. So making circles in the other direction on the jaw. Then we're going to get to the really good part. So pausing again with the two fingers in that hollow space, we're going to push the fingers up towards the temples. So we're just going to stretch that muscle up. And then bringing the fingers down, pulling the fingers down, stretching that muscle down. And then we're going to stretch the two fingers back towards the ears. So we're pulling that muscle back. And then pulling the muscle forward. So really essentially making a cross. So maybe repeating that if you like and just taking your time exploring, finding any sensations in there up and down, back and forth, but with your time, with your breath. Finish up here, making circles if you'd like, back or forward, any other organic movements that feel good here. And then eventually releasing the hands again to the knees. Closing the eyes here just for a moment, just observing all of that together. And then as you're ready, opening the eyes, and we're going to continue on with some of the bigger muscles here. So we're going to twist by bringing the left hand to the right knee. That right hand can come to the low back, or it can wrap around. The right hand comes to the top of the left thigh or somewhere in there. And if it doesn't come, you can also grab your t-shirt. So inhaling, becoming nice and tall here. Exhaling, looking over towards the right. Softening the shoulders. Taking a couple of breaths on each breath, imagining we can lengthen the crown of the head up to the sky. On each exhale, imagining we can just allow the twist. With the next breath, inhaling and exhaling, looking to the center, bringing the torso back to the center. Bringing the left hand to the low back or around to the thigh, or grabbing onto the t-shirt, right hand to the left knee, inhaling, becoming tall, bringing the low tummy in, exhaling, looking over towards the left. So not thinking about twisting so much. The twist will happen on its own. Just becoming tall and exhaling, allowing. Just working with your breath to find lots of space. One more breath, lengthening and exhaling, looking forward, bringing the torso back forward. Okay, So this time, we're gonna bring the right hand down beside the body, so just the hands touch the floor. We're gonna bring the left hand over up to the right ear. We're not gonna pull at all, but we're just gonna let the left ear come over towards the left shoulder. And really, it's more about using the weight of the hand and the arm, the weight of the head, than pulling. So we don't wanna create any more sensation by pulling. It's enough sensation just letting the ear listen to the shoulder and reaching those fingertips to the floor. If you wanna increase that sensation, then you can tippy toe the fingers away from the body a little bit more. And just being soft, being careful. Again, taking the last breath here. And exhaling, releasing back to the center. And just changing sides. Left hand out to the side, right hand to the left ear. And just seeing how that right ear can come over, listening to the right shoulder, reaching through the left fingertips, smiling. And that's enough. With the last breath, releasing, coming back to center. Okay, so from here, we're gonna come up to tabletop. If you'd like to begin here, we'll open the shoulders a little bit, walking the knees back behind the line of the hips, bringing the knees together. And then we'll walk the hands forward, coming into a little puppy pose, letting the chest sink down. Letting the forehead come to the floor or to the block. So breathing into the heart space here, letting the chest open. Very nice. You're ready to come out, bringing the tummy in, looking forward, coming out. We're gonna come here onto the forearm, finish up here today. Finish up warming up. Leaving the forearms on the floor, we're gonna bring the hands together and we're gonna shift back again. So letting the forehead come to the floor, you might walk the elbows forward. And when you come down, maybe then you can bring the thumbs to the back of the heart. Well, that's enough, releasing the hands down again. Bringing the hands to the floor, coming back to tabletop. Separating the knees now to hip width apart. Just coming through a couple of rounds of cat-cow, pushing the hips out, opening the chest. And just feeling that motion all through the spine, pushing the center of the spine to the sky. Exhaling. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, rounding. One more time like that. Inhaling, opening. And exhaling, rounding. And from here, opening the knees to the width of the mat, bringing the big toes together, letting the hips sink down to the heels, and coming into child's pose. You can grab a block underneath the forehead or a cushion. Just letting the head reach down. And beginning making it an active child's pose by activating the arms, pushing the hips back towards the heels. And DiDi's gonna take it from here, leading us through the movement part of our class.
Thank you, Andrea. One of the things I love about co-teaching with you, as I always feel so good when my part starts. I'm going to integrate some of those things and remind you all that our focus on extending the spine can happen in almost every posture. So as you're lying here in your child's posture, relax your arms a bit from your active child's posture and instead begin bringing the top of your head towards the top of your mat. As your tailbone lengthens away from your head, feel as if you're creating space in between each of your vertebrae. Lengthening it out. And if you feel like you have a little bit more space in your spine, feel gravity pull in the middle of your back, the inside of your spine. The inside is being pulled gently towards the earth. Go ahead and relax that and make your way back up into your tabletop position. Gently pull your navel toward your spine, just really, really gentle. Activating your core, lengthening out from the crown of your head out through your tailbone. Feel as if there's space between each of your backbones. Turn your toes under. Keep that active core. Lift your hips and lower your heels into your downward facing dog. Again, feel the length between your shoulders and your sitting bones. Let the top of your head be pulled down towards your thumbs. Now bring your attention to your sitting bones and feel them lengthen away from your heels. And then when you're ready, bend your legs, walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend your legs as much as you need to let your torso lie along your legs. Let the top of your head be pulled gently towards the floor, the earth. I'm super sorry I don't have the sound of the birds like Andrea did, but perhaps you can feel them in your heart. With your legs bent, lengthen your spine, activate your core, and bring your entire torso up. Let your hands meet overhead. Feel that length from your heels all the way down through, all the way up through your ring fingers. Exhale, hands to heart center. 5 half Surya Namaskaras to start us moving. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up with a long spine. Lengthen out through the top of your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold. Nice control, Karen. Inhale, halfway up. Oh, yeah. That looks good. Look down. Feel the top of your head being pulled towards the opposite wall. That's it. Nice. Good job, Matt. Exhale. Or inhale all the way up. Super sorry, I'm looking at you too much. Exhale, hands to heart center. Yeah. Okay. Inhale, upward salute. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. That looks nice, Laura. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Good job, Anne. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Nice control. Good job, Naomi. Inhale, halfway up. Shoulder blades kiss, long spine. There you go. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do one more together. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Let's take it to the top of our mat. Take a deep inhale, bring your arms overhead, grab your right hand with your grab your right wrist with your left hand, step the right leg behind and bring both your extremities or both of your hands over to the left side of your body. So really stretching it out. Yeah, that's it. Bring it back up. Let's switch it up. Left wrist into the right hand, left foot behind, reach as far as you can. Bend both of your hands over to the right side of your body. Ooh, that feels good. Bring it back up. Good, we're going to take it down all the way to a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, feel that length, creating space. Exhale, plant the hands, keep the right foot where it's at, bring the left foot back, stay on your left toes, bring everything up. And then today, instead of bending back, see if you can create a little more height in your upper body. Good. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring it into your plank. So your knees can be on the floor, or you can be straight leg, but you have lots and lots of length. Go ahead and bring your knees back down to the floor. Bring it back into a child's pose. Create length. Inhale, bring it back to your tabletop. Turn your toes under. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Again, long spine. Then look between your hands. Bring your left foot up. Bring it all the way up into your crescent. Good job. Long spine. Exhale, bring your hands back down to frame that front foot. Pick up the right foot and bring it to the front. Inhale brings us to a long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a deep inhale, bring your arms up, grab your right wrist with your left hand. Right foot comes behind, let's banana it. Back to center, other side. Right hand grabs your left wrist, left foot comes behind. And we bend our body over to the right side. Good, bring it back to center. Reach tall, lengthen out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, leave the left foot where it's at. Bring the right foot back. Inhale, torso, head and hands come up. Reach it tall, but relax your shoulders. So your back of your head is being drawn towards the sky instead of your shoulders up towards your ears. Good. One more breath together. On your exhale, torso comes down, hands frame that left foot. We step it back into our plank. Then our knees come down. Really long. Bring it back into your child's pose. Inhale, bring it back to your tabletop. Lengthen your head away from your tailbone. Turn your toes under. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Pick your left foot up. Bring it to the front. Keep the right leg nice and long. Arms come up towards the ceiling. Lengthen out through the top of your head. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your left foot. Pick up your right foot and bring it to the top. Inhale, bring everything up, reaching the top of your head towards the sky today. And while you're here, I want you to play around a little bit with your tailbone. Let your back come into its natural curve. Then ever so gently, bring your belly button into your spine to let your tailbone drop down between your legs. But try not to force that. Just a teeny little bit, and then let it come back to neutral. That's where you want to be. That's natural extension for you. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Keep your right foot where it's at. Step your left leg back. And then you're going to be in warrior one legs. Now, we're going to eventually, I should have told you at the beginning, I'm so sorry. You're right, if you have two blocks, one at either end of your mat. If you only have one block, that's okay, that's totally okay. We're just gonna travel with it instead, okay? So 2 blocks or 1 block, it doesn't even matter. We're in a warrior one leg position. So our right knee is over our right ankle. Arms come up. Feel the length out the top of your head, and you might feel a little bit of an extra pull. So be really gentle on the front of that left thigh. Your hips don't have to be cranked towards the front. They can be in a natural little curve, meaning the back left hip might be coming back a little bit more. Whatever feels good for you. From warrior one, we're going to bring our body forward, bring our arms back, and feel the length as we're in a sort of airplane posture. So long spine. See if you can bring the back of your head in line with your spine. Now we're going to take a look at our brick. Bring our right hand there. Bring it in front of our face. Lift our left leg and open our hips towards our screen, towards the left side of your mat. Lengthening the right leg and the left leg. We're in a half moon. First, pay attention to the long spine you can create. Then, if you have a little more freedom, bring the left hand up into the air. Woo! Working on some balance today. Flex the lifted foot and feel how powerful you are. Look down at the floor. Turn your hips towards the floor. Pendulum the left leg down. Left arm down. Bend your legs as much as you need to come into a forward fold. Lengthen your spine. With a long, strong spine, bring it all the way up into upward salute. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, create that length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Keeping your arms up. Let's do this on the other side. Right foot comes back, left leg for warrior one. Am I on the right side? Is this the other side? You're doing the other side. Yeah. When I switch the way that I am oriented towards your screen on my mat, I kind of get confused. Obviously, the compartments of my brain aren't as integrative as they should be. They're nice and long. Come back to your breath. Good. Let your arms come down. Lean your body a little bit forward. Imagine a nice long line between the crown of your head out through your tailbone. And maybe you can bring the back of your head a little bit closer towards the sky. And then we're going to look down at the floor, bring it into our half moon. Again, left hand to the floor or to your brick. Lengthen your spine first, then open your hips. Re-lengthen your spine, then bring your right hand up towards the sky. Or if that feels way too unstable today, it doesn't matter. Bring it down. We're working on creating length today. We're not working on anything else. Look down at the floor if you're not already. Shift your hip points towards the floor. Let the right leg come down. Bring your body into a forward fold, bending your legs as much as you need to. Then inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Turn towards the long side of your mat and open your legs as much as you need to. We're going to take it into a forward fold in the first instance. So you might bend down, bend your legs, and bring one of your bricks towards you. Okay? Bring your hands to your hips. And again, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, begin hinging at the hips, but keep it only till you come parallel to the floor. If you have longer arms than I do, you can bring your fingertips to the floor. If you have shorter arms, bring your brick or your tool to the floor to bring the floor closer to you. The idea here is to create a long spine. So we want to not be in a rounded back, but instead be nice and long. Take your left hand, bring it to the small of your back. Inhale, re-lengthen your spine. And when you're ready, with your next exhale, begin twisting your left shoulder back and your right shoulder down. So you're in the Prasarita Padottanasana, a modified twist. Wide leg, forward fold, twist with super length. Come back to your breath. Go ahead and look down at your brick. Switch your hands. Your left hand is in front of your face on the floor or on your brick. Lengthen that spine. Bring the right hand down to the small of your back. Use that to create the sensation of length in your spine. And with your next exhale, you're going to bring your right shoulder towards the ceiling or the sky Maybe your gaze comes over to the right side. And you're in a spinal twist here. Come back to your breath. Go ahead and look back down at your left hand. Bring both of your hands to your hips. Pull your hips away from your shoulders. Now bring your attention to your legs and push down through the insides of your legs to come all the way up. Keep your left toes where they're at. Pick up your right toes and turn them out. Bring your arms into warrior two arms. So both legs are straight. Yeah, there you go. We're going to move into Trikonasana, but I don't want you to go very far today because I want you to, again, keep growing space in between each of your vertebrae. So I'm going to simply bring my right hand down to the inside of my right thigh, left hand up towards the ceiling. So there's length on both sides, same length on both sides of your torso. Good. Now go ahead and bend the right leg. So you're in a modified, what is this? This is Parsvakonasana, but I can't remember the English word. Extended side stretch. Yeah. Super long. If you'd like to bring in some leg work, there's a competition between the back of your hand and your inner knee. That's it. Yeah. Good. Inhale, bring it back up. Lengthen that front leg. Bring your left hand down. Bring your right arm up towards the sky. Lengthen first, then reverse your triangle. Not going very far. Good. Bring it back to warrior two arms. Pick up the right toes, turn them in. Pick up the left toes, turn them out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Good. Left hand comes down to the inside of the left thigh. Right hand up towards the sky. I'm not going very far because I'm trying to keep a long spine. So what you might have to do, everybody looks okay. You might have to bring in the right ribs into your body a bit more. Yeah, exactly. To make it complete long spine, my head comes down towards the floor a little bit. It feels uncomfortable. Bend the left leg. Keep the right arm where it's at. Good. You might squeeze the knee into the back of the hand to work the inner thigh. But we're actually working on space. So if you don't feel like doing that, you don't. Keep the left leg where it's at. Bring your torso up. Bring your right hand to the back leg. Left hand comes up towards the sky and we reach out first, creating length, then bend over to the right side of our body. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. Warrior two arms. We're going to bring it back into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, bring your body long. Exhale, this time let your body fold all the way forward. And we're going to revisit what Andrea taught us at the beginning. To take your hands, put them at the base of your spine, where your neck and your spine and your skull meet. And this time, find that spot, that juicy bone, with the thumb pad of your palm. Push gently into that. Let it feel heavy, but don't pull. And then let that go. Bring your hands to the floor, bend your legs as much as you need to. Heel toe yourself together till your feet are underneath your hips. And then we're going to slowly bend down into our malasana. And I'm going to turn it back to my colleague. So she's going to take us from malasana. I'm going to switch it up.
So in Malasana, you can stop with the elbows to the insides of the knees. You can stop before that with the hands on the top of the legs. Wherever you are, opening the chest, maybe creating a little bit of extension with the legs, reaching out the crown of the head. And eventually from here, we're gonna work our way down, coming to sitting. We're gonna now look towards the front of the mat with the feet in front. And we're going to hug both knees in towards the body so that we're really just giving ourselves a hug here in a seated position. So making a small ball. Then we're gonna take the left hand behind the body. We're gonna use it as a tent. So you can use it the whole hand on the ground, the fingertips, however it works for you. And we're gonna reach the right hand up. So the buttocks are gonna come up off the floor, reaching the right arm up, creating that length, and then bringing that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. We're gonna keep the buttocks off the floor. Inhaling, lengthening up out of the crown of the head, and then exhaling, twisting slightly over towards the left. So finding a little twist here. It's a different kind of twist. The buttocks are off the floor. The weight is in the feet and the hand. And that's enough. Coming back to center, releasing both arms. And then we're gonna change sides. So right hand comes behind the body. And we're gonna push up, reaching the left arm up. Buttocks come off the floor, left arm comes to the outside of the right knee. Inhaling, lengthening the spine first, and then exhaling, twisting over towards the right. So twisting using the breath. And when it's enough for you, then letting the buttocks come back down to the floor. And coming back to sitting, we'll come to Baddha Konasana. So bringing the bottoms of the feet together, hugging the heels in towards the body. And you can interlace the fingers or open the feet like a book. Inhaling, becoming tall, feeling the sit bones on the floor. And letting the knees open out to the side. So we're gonna stay nice and tall here. Maybe today the effort that we're making is just to bring the knees closer to the floor. So becoming tall, seeing if we can open the chest more, pushing the knees down, finding a couple of breaths here. And then releasing that. We're gonna come down to the floor and we need a block to do our little closing series here. As you come down to lay on the floor, we're just going to keep the knees bent, keeping the feet underneath the knees, the heels underneath the knees. We're going to reach the hands down towards the heels and pushing into the feet. We're going to come up to our little bridge. So first, bringing the weight to the upper arms, maybe walking one arm in, the other arm in, and you can interlace the fingers or just reach the hands towards the heels. Just taking care to not let the knees splay out or not letting them fall in, keeping them at hip width. Seeing if we can find that whole big breath here. After we bring the block on its flattest, down, leave the where they are. So opening arms now to the side, the big bone, above the tailbone, letting it sink into the block. And then with the knees at hip width apart, we're gonna let the knees come over towards the left. And letting the knees come over towards the right. And doing that again, coming left and right a couple of times with your breath, however it feels good to you, just kind of exploring that motion. The next time you make your knees over towards the left side, just pausing here for a moment. Letting the knees be heavy, letting the shoulders be heavy. And then transitioning again over towards the right side. And pausing here again, focusing more on the pause than the movement. And then eventually bringing the knees back to center. We're going to square up the body again, so walking the heels underneath the knees. From here, we're going to walk the feet forward towards the end of the mat. Walking the feet forward. And we're going to walk the left foot then out towards the left side of the mat. We're going to follow the left foot with the right foot. So we're making that small banana. So you don't want it to be too strong. You don't have to go too far. But we're going to bring the legs together. So we're going to act like we're zipping up the legs here. Now, if you'd like, you can bring the arms up overhead. You could take the right wrist with the left hand and find your upside down banana here. To come out, coming back with the arms first to the center, and then walking the feet back to the center, walking the right foot over towards the right side of the mat, following with the left foot. Legs are long. Bringing the legs together, zipping up the legs. If you like, adding on the arms, reaching the arms up overhead, and then taking the left wrist with the right hand, reaching the left wrist over. Coming back with the arms first, and then walking the feet back to the center. So from here, we can walk the feet back to the floor, bending the knees. And we'll continue on here by bringing the knees up above the hips and bring the hands to the knees. From here, you can rock slightly from side to side. You can make some small circles on the sacrum, on the block with the knees. So it really is a small movement. Getting in both sides, looking the opposite direction. And then if you'd like, reaching the feet up towards the sky. You might, again, walk the arms a little bit underneath the back, reaching up out of the legs. So from here, lengthening out the heels again. Very nice. And eventually bending the knees, hugging the knees into the chest again. Releasing the feet to the floor, the heels underneath the knees. Pushing the feet into the floor, bringing the hips up again, taking the block out, opening the chest. Taking a couple of breaths here. Last little bridge, opening the chest. Reaching the hands down towards the heels. And then releasing the arms out to the side and just coming all the way down. Bringing the body back down to the floor. If you would like one more little thing to release the hips here, bringing the knees up towards the chest, bringing the hands, the arms inside the legs, and just grabbing onto the legs somewhere here. It can be the shins, it can be the ankles, and then reaching the feet up towards the sky. So not necessarily a little baby. We really want to have the low back on the floor today to give it some release. So just letting the legs open. You can rock from side to side, and a lot of us can get the legs open, get a little bit more into the hips if we don't have the hands on the feet. So it's just a different way of trying the same thing, same but different. And so if you need something else to be able to release here today for your Shavasana, for your final posture, then you should do whatever that is to get you there. And then whenever you're ready to release, just bringing the legs down, reaching the feet to the ends of the mat, separating the feet at least hip width apart, letting the toes fall out to the side. And again, you might want to walk the shoulder blades underneath the back a little bit to get the chest open. Palms face up. We can lengthen here the spine by reaching the crown of the head up, which is going to bring the chin slightly down. And then eventually closing the eyes, beginning releasing this whole practice. Just enjoying a few moments of not having to do anything. Just turning the outside edges of the lips up and letting the body take rest. And so you're ready to come back into the body. You're just traveling back slowly and softly. And first with the breath, and then with any movements that you like, maybe reaching the arms up overhead and finding one final super long length here. Reaching down from the fingers to the toes, and then finishing up to come up to have a seat any way you'd like. Bringing the hands to the knees, rocking to the side. If you'd like to join just to close this class together, and bringing the hands to the heart, eyes just for a moment, just making a small observation of the effects of class today. And recalling the intention, what you'd like to focus your energy on today. And sending some love to all of your friends here who have joined to share yoga today. Thanking yourself for continuing your practice. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.
You too. Namaste.
Namaste.